welcome back. As promised, for the past year, since the beginning of 2025, me and Doc collaborated, partnered up, and we brought you Boundaries and Brotherhood. It gives me warm welcoming to know that the workshops, this is our first seminar, our first webinar, knowing that we have templates, everything done for you if you're in a situation. And as usual, I'm going to get us all technically set up on this recording. We're not going live. I'll let Doc do the intros, what we're going to be going through. Doc, take it away for our first ever post-production webinar for Boundaries of Brotherhood. And hopefully this turns out.
It's going to turn out well. We've been doing this for a whole year, and then we've been speaking for even longer than that. So, welcome everybody, to our first webinar where we're going to be talking about our sovereignty system, right? Which is designed to help you become the 11th man. And if you've been following us for any period of time, you know who the 11th man is. It's the man that's confident, the man can control the room, the man that has internal regulation within himself, can master his emotions. He knows how to communicate. He knows how to set boundaries. He's a good father. He's a good husband. He's a good businessman. And he's someone that you not just want to be, but it's someone you'd be willing to follow. He's a true leader, provider, and protector. And we've created a system called the sovereignty system where you can become that 11th man and command respect. People will want to give you respect wherever you go after working with us and going through this program. So we're going to be talking about what the program is. We're going to be talking about the 7 pillars, and we're going to be talking about how you can take part and partake in this program.
Yeah, absolutely. Number one. Let me ask you this, Doc. We've been doing this podcast, like you said, for over a year. How does it feel knowing that we're going to be bringing this type of information from us, from all our recordings that creates this product that will lead into the workshop? You know what I mean? We talked about the 11th man, like Doc said. We want you guys to become the 11th man so that you don't have to worry about self-doubt, being unconfident, doing things in an unassertive way. During the course of this, maybe hour and a half, Doc's going to turn you into a superstar that you already knew the potential that you have. Doc, let's take it away. You tell me when you want to move the slides. You tell me what you want to do, because we built this up just for you guys.
All right. Well, so guys, again, if you've been following us for any period of time, when we were talking about the 11th man and where that comes from, right? And if you haven't seen it, I encourage you to join our community, and you could also join us on YouTube. We have the video that describes what the 11th man is. The 11th man is not somebody who is not sure of themselves, right? It's not a man who's unsure of himself. It's not a man who runs from his responsibilities. It's not a man who lives in a space of insecurity at all times. That's not what the 11th man is. But the beautiful thing about it is even if you are in that space, if you're one of the 10, right? Then you don't necessarily have to stay there. There is a path forward. We're not here to tear you down. We're not here to tear you apart or anything like that. Again, if you follow our content, we're here to build up men, right? Reason brotherhood for a reason, right? We're here to help you become the man we know you can be, the man you were born to be. That's what we're here to help you do, right? And so we're going to do that through our system. Gordon, let's go to the next slide. All right.
Beautiful.
Let's talk about this for a moment, this modern crisis of self-distrust, right? We live in a space where we as men, we're trying to come out of what has happened to us via the feminist movement, via the Great Society, right? Where men have been effectively castrated, emasculated, we've been downplayed, we've been made to look stupid and dumb. You look at a lot of the TV shows, we've talked about this before, about how men are portrayed incompetent, slow, no backbone, scared of their wives, all these things like that, and they make it out to be cute. You've heard guys talk about how incompetent they are, how they can't manage a home when their wife goes away. And so, of course, you have now this self-distrust, right? And a lot of guys don't even know what it means to be a man in this period of time.
True.
You see this massive void. And the people that I work with, like a lot of the women are like, where are the men, right? Where are the men? You know, we have guys that they don't know what they want and they can't make a decision, or they're unsure of themselves, and or they're people pleasing, or they're making covert contracts and all these things like that, you know, and everyone's asking the question, where are the men? Now, thanks to the red pill movement, you know, it's shined more light on this issue. It's not the solution. I mean, I'll say that we are not red. We don't do red pill stuff here, right? You know, similar to like how Freud kicked the door in for mental health and psychology. But you look at his philosophies, someone had to jumpstart this, right? You know, put them for doing that. However, we got it from here. We're going to do it the right way. We're going to set you up so that you're not struggling like this anymore. You know, you're not suppressing your emotions. You know, you're not waiting for a woman to lead you. You know, you have the confidence to step up. You know how to be your full authentic self. You can control your emotions. Like, this is what we're going to get you to, right? Because, oh gosh, I hate that, right? Because there was this cause like, oh, men need to be softer. Men need to be more
Oh my
women.
goodness.
Men need to get in touch with their feminine side.
Mhm.
Cannot stress
Mhm.
enough. I cannot
Mm.
stress enough.
Mm.
With everything that was within me, we as men do not have a feminine side. We don't have any woman living inside of us. We don't have any divine feminine energy. We don't have none of that inside us. We have X, Y chromosomes. We are pumping testosterone. There ain't nothing female about us. Point blank, period. But it's because we were sold this lie. The women stepped up. They were the ones.
Yeah, that's what
They
happened.
were the ones in school. They were the ones in church. They were the ones at home. And so now we have like a whole generation of men, unfortunately, who've been, you know, exposed to this, right? They were
Right.
told it's not okay to be a man. It's not okay to be energetic. It's not okay to be confident. It's not okay to be able to stand up for what you believe in. It's not okay to share your emotions. And let me also say this isn't just like downing women as well, because unfortunately, there's a lot of guys who believe lies, cultural lies, that men aren't supposed to feel. You're not supposed to have emotions. You're not supposed to share things. You're supposed to struggle with everything by yourself, you know, to be a real man. That we've been taught that, oh, you have to have this rite of passage. Like there's some, you know, Illuminati type group that lets you know when you hit manhood, which is crazy to me. So there's all these mixed messages that have been given. And so
Yeah,
it's
right there.
this modern crisis of self-distrust. It's no wonder why. It's just
Right.
been this toxic soup that we've been swimming in for all of our lives, believing lies,
Well,
believing echo chambers and things like that. And so it's no wonder why we're struggling like this. And so as a result, we don't even believe our own goals, right? You know,
yeah,
all
true.
we have are dysfunctional patterns and we're trying to make it work, but it doesn't work. And so we're left questioning, dang, who am I? You know, who am I?
Whew.
You know, am I even a man? You know, can I accomplish what I set out to do? And so we have multiple generations of men stepping into this. You got Generation Y, the millennials and zennials. You know,
Oh my
whatever's
goodness.
the next generation after that.
I don't even
Right?
know.
It's not alpha's what my son's in. Gosh.
I'm not even to that point with my sons
Yeah.
yet.
Right. So whatever the next one after millennials is, Generation Z.
But let
Go
me
ahead.
some. Doc, is your camera moving on a pedestal because it's going in and out right now?
Yeah,
on the phones?
it's one of those fancy
see if you-
cameras. I like to.
Oh, okay. Well, then let me see. Let me see this. Let me
Yeah.
jump in here, guys. If you were watching this webinar right here, we want to take you. If you believe any of that stuff and you're doubting yourself on anything that you have believed going on, if you're stuck in that echo chamber, if you're feeling down, you don't even know how to be a man because your grandmother taught you how to shave, or your stepmom taught you how to, let's say, put deodorant because there wasn't a man in the house. This is the situation we're talking about because these things are moving on into the business world, the real world, where people don't know how to open doors anymore. My son's open door for women right now at 3 and 5. And people tell me, I'm glad you bring that back because they need to be, and they know how to treat women also as being a man. You know what I mean? So if your body doesn't believe in the goals, what the slides is, right? Your body will reinterpret different patterns, what you see in social media right now. You know, the alpha male, the other stuff, and it's all on borrowed information that is obsolete. Right, Doc? It is obsolete information. What the freaking dude? No, I get it. You have to be in touch with your emotions that you have because, you get misconstrued when you bring up if you're not taught it well. But don't ever tell me you have to touch your feminine side. What the frick is that? That bothered me for so long.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that, man. Give
Okay.
me that.
No,
Right?
wait a stop. Now,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be a
Yeah.
short, but what we're trying to offer, guys, is something if you have this belief and you might be stuck in your own shell of a man and you've been told all this crap, we want you to become the fully potential person where you can be assertive, dreamy, become the potential business person you want to be. Use tools that you have and not be swayed off. This is what this webinar and the workshops in the future be for.
And not adopt the victim mentality.
Oh my God, don't even get
Right?
me started on that
Because
crap.
I'm going to say this, guys, right now as well, that you do understand that a lot of these people out here that are pushing these false narratives about what it is to be a man, the whole alpha thing and the incels and all that stuff like that. All those people that are pushing that and creating the echo chamber, the goal is not for you to actually change. Goal is for you to get sucked into their ecosystem and stay exactly the
Right.
same. And then once you're drained, they just get somebody else. Because at the end of it, all that's going to happen is like, yeah, but I still don't love myself. I still don't know my self-worth. I still don't have confidence. I still can't get a date. All these things, right? And so our goal is not to have you come into our ecosystem and stay the same. Our goal is for you to come in and become the man you desire. This is the chamber that's going to change your life, right? With truth, with evidence-based practices, with real strategies, right? So that your wife will see a difference, your kids will see a difference, your friends will see a difference, your family, your coworkers, your other business partners. Like, that's who's going to see the difference.
Go.
All right.
But no, girls. And then, Jesus. Dude, man, that was just the first slide.
Yeah, you touch certain points, man. I gotta go in. I
broke
right?
the bear.
You didn't-
The women were gonna have the bear and deal with the man.
And let me also say this when we're going to move on to the next one, right? For this result, I do want to
All right.
read this where it says, your body doesn't believe your goals. Your body only believes your patterns. True. Because you can listen to this webinar and you can be like, yeah, you can feel inspired. If you don't do something different, if you don't change the pattern, if you don't change how you think, which is one of the things we help you to do, you're going to fall right back into the exact same patterns. When the energy runs out, when the motivation runs out, you're going to be right back where you started. And the goal is to make sure that you never get back to that point ever again. And let's slide on the next one. Oh, this one, the performance trap, right? When your work is tied to what you do, a lot of us get caught up in the performance trap. A majority of us get caught up in the performance trap because what ends up happening is we as men are designed to be leaders, providers, or protectors. Nothing wrong with that. It's just part of who we are, right? The problem comes in is when we derive our value from these roles, right? And that's the problem. We derive our worth from the roles of being a leader, provider, and protector. So if we feel we're not doing it right, we feel we're not good enough, right? And so unfortunately, what ends up happening is, we keep on this hamster wheel of trying to be enough and we never reach it, right? And so you always feel like you're not good enough. You always feel you keep going. And then unfortunately, because the internal feeling's still there, right? The internal state, your worth, your value is not there. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how successful you become. You still feel like you're not worth anything, right? And that's a problem. Imagine you come from nothing, because there's a lot of you guys that have worked your way up from nothing, right? I mean, you came from a poor background. My life's going to be different than my father's. It's going to be different than my grandfather's. I'm going to be different. I'm not going to allow my past to define me. And so you get into this performance trap, right? Where you just keep working and working and working. But here's the crazy part, that on the outside, everyone's looking and seeing like, man, look at them. Look how great they are. But on the inside, you're like, I'm nothing. This doesn't matter. This isn't helping me. I don't feel any better. It's not enough. I'm still useless. There's guys that make, 7 figures that feel this way. They've started, 8 figures, 9 figures and feel this way. And we look like, how is that possible? You're changing lives around the world, and yet you're contemplating taking your own? It's like, how is that possible?
Yes.
Right? Because as the slide says here, the lie, I must perform to matter, that's a lie. That's not true at all. Your worth and your value is just in who you are intrinsically. You don't have to work for that. And I often tell people, like, as a baby, does a baby have to work for love? Absolutely not. A baby gets love free. There is already intrinsically there. And that never changes, that
Yep.
you have to work to be loved. And if you don't work hard enough, you're not really a man. And a lot of women, oh man. Gosh, Gordon, man, you're really trying to get into me right now, man. So there's a lot of women that perpetuate this as well. Oh, if you don't provide, if you're not making enough money, if you can't buy me a Louis Vuitton purse, if you can't cash me out, if you can't do this, if you can't do that, then you're not really a man. And then you have men that say the same thing. Oh man, your wife makes more than you, your girl makes more than you, you're not really a man. So it feels like, oh man, I'm not a man. I got to do more. I got to do more. I got to do more. To be loved, to be worth something, to be worthy of being accepted and understood, I have to work for it. And so it's this lie that we've been kept in. We're on this hamster wheel. And as the slide says, we become reactive. We become dependent. We become fear-driven.
Mm-hmm.
And then we never, ever get to the point where enough is enough, because there is no point. It's an invisible metric. There is no enough. There is no enough. You can't make enough money. You can't serve your wife enough. You can't serve your children enough. You can't serve your community enough. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, because you've given your all. You're empty. You're tired. You feel nobody cares. And yet you keep getting back up with the hope that's been instilled in you that if I just give more, then maybe my wife will love me and respect me. Maybe my kids will respect me. Maybe the world will respect me. Maybe I'll finally be accepted. Maybe I can finally be who I am. And then, sir, I'm telling you right now, it doesn't work. We're here to break you out. That's what the sovereignty system does. It breaks you out of this pattern so you can recognize that I don't have to work for love and self-worth. I'm worthy of love and acceptance and understanding out the gate. I don't have to work for that. I don't have to be trying to please other people. Again, the people pleasing. I don't have to do that anymore. And I'm telling you right now, it's so crazy, because when you finally get a hold of this, understand you don't have to work for love, and you can start setting up boundaries, and you're already worthy of that, that's when you start seeing people get attracted to you. You want to see your attractiveness go up as a man? Start having boundaries. Start saying, like, no, I'm not doing that. Start saying, yeah, no, I don't need to submit to the world standard in order to be accepted. I don't have to do that. That is going to drive women crazy. And you have to beat them off this stick. If you're married, you still have to beat them off the stick. Usually a ring is good enough, but still.
But let me jump in here, Doc, because then
do.
a lot of times you have like the performance standard that people, you want to be 6 feet, 6 inches, 6 figures, and do it all.
Six-pack abs too.
But
Six-pack abs too.
Or 6-pack abs. That's the whole standard for women. But the delusion of it all is, like you said, the baby doesn't need to perform to get love, but we got misconstrued with or misguided along the way with what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Right? When you teach your kids and yourself that if you take, are you fulfilled? Are you happy with your life? Right? Just take for the clients and their service, like, because it's like money is not going to be everything, because you don't want everything to be transactional. You want it to be transformational in anything that you do. Right? If you take the money component out of everything, is your life fulfilled? Does it have purpose? This is what we want to give to you, because you can be the dependent. You can be assertive. You don't have to be living in fear, because some of the men I've come across, even the women, are misguided. We want to bring you back into those things so that you understand that there's a life beyond transactional, right? You're going to stop fearing the loss of others and their validations and their opinions of you. You're going to take away the loss of being the simple yes person, right? We're going to dismantle that inner critic with the self-doubt shout-out program. These are just phases of some of the things that we're coming into 2026. Like Doc said, that movement right here to where you want to be, you're misguided. We want to rein you back in. Want to put you back in so that when you do learn to earn the love, it's the love that you have within yourself to change it in the chemistry of your own being with the patterns that he mentioned. I'm sounding like that. But, just to give you some of the things that we'll be offering so that you can change the course of 2026. By the time 2026 first quarter, we want you to at least have the guidance to be confident. If you could change that in 30 minutes to an hour and have Doc, let's see this. What would you tell a person, Doc, if I was applying, what would you tell me to do right now, part of the workshop, to help me gain confidence in the next 60 days?
Oh,
Just give me one off the top of the
easy,
head that I could do,
easy.
right?
You know, you need to look for all of the things you set out to do and accomplish and tie them all together. Big,
Beautiful.
no matter how small, tie them all together. It's about the pattern of you doing and completing the thing you said you wanted to do. So that's just one quick thing you could start doing. So if you want to go, and I'm talking about your whole life, right? Don't try to quantify it or qualify it and say, well, it's not big enough. If it was, yeah, I was able to pass that test, then do it. You know, I was able to finish that paper.
do it.
I was able to learn how to tie my shoe. I learned how to ride a bike. I started my own business. I was able to close that deal. I was able to get to the gym. I lost this weight. Whatever it is, you tie it together so that you could build the pattern within yourself. Like, oh, shoot, I actually can do the things I say I'm going to do, right? So that's
Beautiful.
just one quick thing you can get. And we can go into, there's a lot more depth when it comes to that. There's a lot more into it, but that's just one thing you could do right now to start changing your life and becoming more confident.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
Now we're going to go on to this one. The solution is not performing better. It's reclaiming your sovereignty. Please elaborate
Yes.
on that, Doc.
I'm going to read the definition of what sovereignty is, right? So sovereignty is the ability to govern your inner world without being ruled by fear, shame, or external approval. It is emotional leadership, identity, clarity, disciplined action, and relational honor, right? And so sovereignty is being able to rule yourself, being able to know your mind, your thoughts, your values, your beliefs, and stand on them at all times, regardless of who likes it or not. We as men for too long have been not sovereign. We've been swaying and moving and, well, my wife wants it, so I guess I'll do it. Or, you know, well, these people want it, so I guess I'll do it. For too often, we're not standing up and saying, no, enough is enough. We're not doing that. We've been suppressing emotions and running from them, you know, thinking that, oh, it's emotion, it's feminine to feel, you know, and a real man's only allowed to be stoic, you know, that's all he can feel. And it's like, no, a real man has full, total control over his entire self. You know, I think the Bible actually talks about it as well. There's a part in it where it talks about how a man who can rule himself is better than a strong city or a fortified city, right? Or a fort. So the idea of sovereignty is self-rule. Like, we got it together in here. We don't need external validation. I don't need someone to give me the green light. I don't need someone to say I'm a man or not. I'm not looking for that. I know who I am already, right? That's what we need. That level of confidence, that self-assurance, that strength, that power. That's what we can rely on. I want you to think about the men in your life who you respect, the men who are of standard, right? I want you to think about them. And I want you to look and see, dang, how do they operate? How do they perform? I can guarantee, maybe they're not perfect, but I can guarantee there's a lot of our sovereignty program that they're doing, right? Them themselves, right? Them being able to control and master their emotions, them being able to set boundaries, them able to set goals and accomplish them, them being able to navigate relationships, know how to communicate. I can guarantee they have a lot of those abilities within them. And if there are any of those men who are in leadership positions and you want to get better, we can take you there too. It's not just about if you're at the very bottom. Sometimes we need a little extra. You might say, yeah, I'm hitting on a couple of cylinders, but, you know, I could use a little bit of help in some other ones. You know, which reminds me of another, you know, not this is a Christian program, but, you know, I'm a Christian and the Bible's a big part of my life. There's a story where the rich ruler, the young rich ruler comes to Jesus and, you know, he's like, how do I get eternal life? And Jesus is like, hey, do X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, right? And then what the young ruler said, he says, I'm doing all that. Right. And he said, okay, Jesus said, then he said, okay, well, these other things you can do. Right. You know, and so it's kind of the same thing. You might come in here, you might be watching this and say, oh, yeah, no, I'm good. I got that. Oh, yeah, I do that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can command a room. Da, 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 da. But there might be another part like, oh, shoot, well, maybe I'm not good with my kids, though. Maybe my relationship could be a little bit better. Oh, man, you know, maybe that confidence. So the whole idea is we're trying to make the full man, the 11th man. And so we're trying to help you reclaim that sovereignty, right? And we say reclaim it because you had it at one point in time. When you were young, before the world came and told you what you were supposed to be, you know, you already had that. Now we're here to give it back to you. We're here to give you permission to be the man you're designed to be, to reclaim all that the world tried to take from you, that your past, the abuse, the trauma, the lies, the false stereotypes, all these things that try to take it from you. We're here to give it back, right? And so I'm going to say,
We're,
pass it over to
we're
you,
not
Gordon. Go
finished.
ahead, man.
We're not going to give it back. We're going to instill it. We're going to instill it in you because the 11-man, the Southern program that we have going on is going to be able to boost your chest up, to be able to do something for you that maybe you was misguided. Single mother, single family home, divorce, all the good stuff. Part of the workshop, you're going to be able to articulate your faith with the Doc's trademark position, the SERR communication code to translate what you have going on inside of you that gains the connection and clarity and respect that you truly deserve. A lot of the times you miss that. And another part of the program that we're offering, going to be 2000, going in the next few months, how to let go of people. You know, sometimes you don't understand that. Some people, they come in and out of your lives for a reason, but it's not about treason, right? You have to let them go because sometimes that things don't line up in life. Things change. You might have a family. Things change, for example. You might be in a business, but you still have to trade passive people pleasing and get out of the way from that sim mentality, right? It's going to make sense stuff because a lot of times you just stay stuck in that pattern that we said at the beginning. But those are the things that we're going to be going over in the workshops because you need these in phases. If I was to dump everything on you, one crack, one time, you would be like a fire hose getting turned on with all this information. Now, the sovereign man, the 11th man, knows his values, like the slide says, speaks the truth, walks with confidence, commands respect. It's different from gaining respect and having respect. Commanding respect is coming into a room and people stop and look at you and be like, oh, wow, that's what we want.
Yeah.
But it takes a little work. This is not your snake oil salesman thing. You have to put in the work. We're offering that.
Yeah. And it's not hard. The work,
the
work itself is not hard, right? What I always tell my people, especially like when I do a lot of couples work, but I also work with men as well, right? But I always tell them the hardest part about counseling and about change, it's not the actual work that has to be done. It's easy to do a gratitude list. It's easy to chain together all your positive things. It's easy to reframe things. It's easy. The skills themselves are very easy. What it is undoing all the things that you've learned, all of those negative patterns, all the things you've been told that this is what a man is supposed to be, undoing all of that, right? Not being scared to open up and share what you're thinking and feeling. Not being scared to set a boundary and say, no, enough is enough. Not being scared to open up and share what you need and to ask for help. Like, that's the stuff that we have to unlearn. We have to unlearn all those things that have kept us bound for so long. Because the fact of the matter is, guys, like we've been sold a lie. Whether intentional or unintentional, we've been sold the lie. And nowadays, we're in a situation, we're in a place, Gordon, I'm going to say it like this, men, we are being farmed. We are being farmed. I'm on social media and I see everybody coming out here now. Oh, well, if you're a man, women too, if you're a man and you want to do this, and it's like, no, that's not where it's designed to be, right? No, we're here to give you guys the skills, the strategies, what you need to be the absolute best man you could possibly be. And so that you could pass that on to other men as well, right? And I want to say this, and I guess, Gordon, we can start moving on to the next one as well, because I don't want to beat a dead horse. But the slide says it's not a tyrant. He's not a tyrant and he's not passive. He's not a monster and he's not a guy that has a jelly back, right? A jelly spine. Like, it's not that. It's not a guy that, has to dominate everyone to feel like he's better. And it's not a guy that's so passive, lets everyone run all over him to thinking that that's honorable. It's not that. It's someone who has that full control. Like you said, Gordon, he commands respect. I love what it says right there, grounded power. Grounded power means you have full control. Power without control is useless. We're here to give you full control because that's what sovereignty is it not? A king that can't control the people and can control his realm is no king at all. If anyone who's ever watched Game of Thrones, Tywin Lannister says a king that has to say he's king is no king at all. Hello, Mr. Tyrant.
It's unsaid.
We're here to give you that grounded power so you can finally be exactly who you want to be and who the people in your life know you can.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Because it's not performing. Like you said, like the slide says, the solution is not performing
Yes.
better. It's owning
Yes.
it. It's grounding.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, all
All
right. Doc is about to go off right now. Just letting you know, Doc is about to just go off the rail right now. Listen, though. I'm going to give you some game. This is made for him. This is from his inner. It comes from him when he put this together for you guys. Please take it seriously.
So guys, this is our sovereignty system, right? We have a 7-pillar framework that's designed to rebuild men and to give you again that sovereignty back, right? Like we were talking about before, right? And these 7 pillars, the first one is self-worth. You got to know your self-worth first and foremost. That's the foundation, right? That's what everything else is built off of, right? You could even say that's the cornerstone of this whole thing, right? Knowing who you are. You got to know who you are at all times, right? We help to give you that. We help to let you know who you are, bring you back in touch with who you are from the very beginning. That creative side that got drowned out, because now maybe you think you're an introvert, but maybe you weren't really an introvert at one point in time. That's what you've been told. Because I could have told y'all I was introvert when I was younger. You know I wasn't, right? I could have continued to believe that lie that someone puts a label on me. No, that's not the case at all. Right? Maybe someone's putting other labels on you, or maybe you have all these labels you put on yourself that keep you trapped in this box where you can't be yourself or you have to put on or things like that. No, we're here to strip all that stuff off. We're here to strip it all off so you can finally be who you want to be, the man you were born to be. That's the first thing we got to do, right? The next thing is boundaries, right? A lot of times we're so scared to open up. We're scared to be vulnerable. But unfortunately, Gordon, what has happened to us as men is that we've been told to suppress so much, hold everything in so much, never face our emotions, never do any of this, right? And so we end up just suppressing everything, holding everything in, and not knowing how to hold space, thinking that we just have to be slaves and just work, and that's it, you know? And I often hear, I give you guys another example, I hear this on the line all the time. Oh, men will sacrifice their happiness for their wives and their family, and women will sacrifice their marriage and their family for happiness. Like, this is just, people just say some stupid stuff. God, I can't stand it, man. People say some of the dumbest things I've heard in my life. Why do you have to be unhappy, sir? Ask yourself that question. Why do you have to be unhappy? Who's saying that for you to be a man, you have to be unhappy? You get married, you have to be unhappy. You have kids, you have to be unhappy. Who said that? Who made that rule that you feel you have to live by that? Nobody. The problem isn't that. That's the problem. The problem is you're not setting proper boundaries. You're letting people run all over you. You're letting people use all your time. You're letting people just, and then you feel used. And instead of you saying, enough's enough. Enough's enough.
What was that?
I rule my life. This is what I'm going to do. If I have space for you, great. If I don't, whatever. But I'm not going to sell myself out for the rest of my life. This pillar right here is critical because this pillar can save your marriage. This pillar can save your job. This pillar can save your life, right? Have boundaries, right? And as it says there, it is literally a defense because when you have proper boundaries, it does two things. It repels people that you don't want in your life, and it keeps the people in who you do, right? But if you don't have proper boundaries and people can come and go as they please, what kind of hell do you think is going to be in your life? All types of hell. And you're going to be struggling and sad and depressed. It's like nobody cares and all these things like that and unhappy because you believe the lie that, well, to be a man, I got to sacrifice my happiness for my family. That's garbage. That is grade A garbage.
Why not have
you need
both?
boundaries. That's one of the pillars and the important pillars that we teach. We got to make sure we have boundaries. Pillar number 3 is communication. Guys, a lot of us have been stunted when it comes to communication because we haven't been given a voice. We've been told to shut up, be performative, put your head down, take the beating, let people use you, and that's what it means to be a real man. Absolutely not. Not one more day forward. And we're also not going to go on the other side as well, where you got to be a tyrant and beat everybody down around you. We're going to teach you how to communicate what you think, what you feel in a way where it can be received, right? Then we talked about the SIR method, right? And there's another part to it, Gordon, as well, that we'll get into as well. It
Yeah.
talks about how to listen as well, right? It's called Yes, Sir. But we're talking about the SIR method. We talk about how you can first identify the situation objectively, right? Because a lot of times when we're trying to share information, we're all over the place, right? So we objectively, boom, when this happened, when this was said, when this thing happened, we got to be able to state that. And when I say objectively, it means that anyone can come in and look at it and say, yep, that's what happened, right? Then you're able to state, because part of this is also having emotional regulation, emotional intelligence, but then you state how you feel, right? Not a thought, not, oh, I feel hurt, I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel happy, I feel something. You're going to learn how to do that. You're going to be able to also talk about what the reason. How did these things, right? How did this thing come to play? Because of this reason here. And again, back to the self-worth, you got to know yourself, because a lot of those reasons of why you operate and move how you do comes from you knowing yourself. When you have self-worth, you know yourself, you know how you operate. A king knows what goes on in his kingdom. It's part of the sovereignty system. And the last part, you're going to know how to make a request. You're going to know how to craft it in such a way where it's not just you that benefits, but you're going to say it in such a way where both people benefit. Because if you say it in such a way where both people benefit, the chances of you getting what you're looking for is much, much, much higher than if you're just, it's all about me. And the beautiful thing about this, when you learn how this communication, you can use it anywhere. You can use it in the board, you can use it in the bedroom, you can use it anywhere, and it's going to be just as powerful and just as effective. Yeah, look like you're about to say something before I go into number 4.
Well, it comes down to with these 7 sovereignty things, you can bounce off 8 more, this and that. But you got to understand, like, you don't have to master them all. Master a few. This is what the workshop's going to be doing about, because we want you to have the emotion, the intelligence, to have the command that you deserve, and knew how to do it at one point in your life. You just lost the way. We're here to guide you and encourage you to build a protective shield around you so you can do those things for you, yourself, your family, and everything else, because this is where it comes down to, right? We're going to go into one of our other offers on whatever the workshops is. You're going to feel the flow to put on a show. You're going to be able to master your emotions. You're not going to learn how to suppress them. You're going to learn how to express them. You're going to learn how to generate the vibration, the process, the energy, the authoritative energy to command a room, like with these things that you have here. Part of the communication, part of the law of attraction, part of everything that you have, you got to have the confidence. Then we're going to go on to fix the price and do it twice, right? We're going to be anchoring the value that you have now within yourself versus the cost of failure and frustration. If you don't do it, what's the cost? 5 years from now, 5 months from now, 5 days from now, you're still going to be the same piece of crap, worrying about everybody else's validation and not being in your own happiness and not be able to control the room that you really want. And you're going to be into the victim mentality.
Yeah.
But after that, it's going to be no more guessing, just blessings.
Mm.
You know, confidence is not luck. With these things, you create your own luck. You create your own destiny. You create the evidence that you need within yourself to walk tall, to be yourself, to feel that inner being with your action, your behaviors, and your patterns will actually come to fruition.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying everything is hunky-dory, but you have to be within this ecosystem to get all of this.
Yes. Yeah.
This is really deep, Doc.
Yeah.
This is not our normal
Well,
stuff.
we got to get what they
This is
need.
cool.
We got to give them the people what they need. That's what we're here for.
And we're going to give them what they want.
Yeah.
Actually. They need it from our point of view, but do they actually want it? We're going to make it so easy that for them to not work with us, we have to make it stacking so everything works in their favor. Where it's like, damn, I got to get this stuff. And that's what we're going to do for you guys 2026.
All right.
All right.
So for number 4, the 4th pillar is confidence, right? It's get done, right? But who
Number
is
4.
sovereign is able to control his fate. He does not wait for others to control his fate. He's not asking for permission. He knows what he needs to do. And it doesn't matter what political environment is, the economic climate, none of that stuff matters. He knows that what I set forth to do, I'm going to do it. I have the confidence. Why? Because I've been in hard situations before. Because the thing is, guys, confidence is not something that you find. It's something that you have to recognize you already have. And with our system, we can help you recognize what you have and learn how to use that. We can teach you how to break down all those chains of self-doubt that you put together, all those failures that you're amplifying, we can teach you how to break all that stuff down and build a strong, confident pattern within yourself, reveal that so that you can now accomplish whatever you set your mind for it to do. Whether it's you want to start that business, whether it's you want to make sure you improve your family, whether it's your faith, whether it's whatever it is, improve your community, whatever you want to do, whatever idea you've been sitting on for a long time, we're going to teach you how to go ahead and have that confidence so there's no more blocks within you or within your mind or heart so that you can actually achieve and have the life that you want to have, right? Right. And then the fifth one's relationships, the brotherhood. It's critical, right? Again, it's critical for us as men to be in union with other men, right? It's not good for us to be alone. That's the way it's been established from the very beginning. The science shows that, spirituality shows that, it's not good for us to be alone. So we're going to teach you not just how to be in community, right, with us, but how to actually even create community, right? Because maybe we have to work together from a distance. That's the world we live in now. However, there are men in your area that need what you have. There are men in your area, men in your men's group, men in your community, men on the job that if you were to stand up and say, hey, we need to connect, there'd be a let's go. Right? Men on your sports team, there are guys everywhere that are looking for this. And so we can teach you not only how to be part of community, to be part of brotherhood, but also to create that wherever you go. So you can have boundaries and brotherhood groups in your church, in your men's groups, in your job. You can have these groups wherever you go. Because again, we need to be together. We're not designed to do it alone because guys, no matter how strong we are, no matter how smart we are, no matter how much money we make or anything like that, we need other men to pour into us. We need other men to lean on. And that's okay because that's the way it's designed to be. We're supposed to be that way, right? And so the other pillars, and I want to speed through this because I know we've been on this for a little bit, guys, but emotional intelligence. Right? This is a part, guys, we've been lacking because we haven't been given the opportunity and the space to not only recognize our emotions and feel our emotions, but we're not supposed to have them at all. We haven't been given that space. So here, we're going to teach you what I call the FAST method, where you can feel your emotion, acknowledge your emotion, sort it, and then transform it, right? You're going to know exactly what to do with it, exactly what the emotions, you're going to learn what emotions mean. You understand that there are no good or bad emotions. They're either pleasant or unpleasant, and you're going to learn how to navigate those the right way. You're going to learn how to challenge your thoughts. You're going to learn how to challenge, hey, should I feel this way? Is this accurate? Is this the right way to feel? You're going to learn how to master your emotions so now you're not being swayed by a reactivity. Right? You know how to listen. You know how to perceive. You know how to change your perspective. You're going to learn how to do all of that so you can master your emotions in any situation, share your emotions in any situation without ever feeling feminine, and holding on to every ounce of masculinity that you have within you. Right? So that emotional intelligence, that's another part. That's a sixth pillar. And the last part's the mindset. And this is, and I love how it all works together, guys, because your mindset is going to be how you're essentially the lens through which you look and view at everything in the world, right? And so we are going to work on changing your mindset so that you're not living in fear. You're not living in a victim mentality. You're not living in a way where you're trapping yourself. You're not going to be stuck in echo chambers anymore. You're going to be able to recognize like, oh man, I don't want to be around this negativity. You're going to have a growth mindset. You're going to have a mindset where you can achieve. You're going to have a mindset where you can shift your perspective at all times and see where other people are coming from. You're going to be able to control your thoughts, right? And not allow intrusive thoughts and things like that to come into play and throw you off. And so that mental command is going to be so important in this part of this. Look forward to, right? And then all these together, as you see, this creates the sovereign man, the man who's in complete control of not just his life, but his destiny. That he can go exactly where he wants to go and be exactly who he wants to be and affect the change that he wants to make. And we can help you do that when you guys are working with us.
Absolutely. Now, to go back over that, what Doc just said completely is, this is some of the skills you're going to be able to master. You're going to master assertive communication that commands respect. You articulate your thoughts clearly without even a wavering thing. You're going to be able to cultivate unwavering self-confidence that fuels action. You're going to be able to set boundaries like a pro. Like you're going to set the laws for you, yourself, your family, and within your body chemistry so that you feel good about yourself. You're going to be able to navigate emotional landscapes with finesse. Guys, you ever seen people with charisma, right? You're going to be able to have that so that you might not be the most charismatic, but it will take time to get you from one step to another. And we have the foundational work to do that. You're going to be able to reframe challenges into growth opportunities effortlessly. Now, with that being said, right, what do you think something like that would be worth to you if you just didn't sit on the side and do nothing alone? Your business, your family, your situation, personal life, your dating life, even your sex life. What if you could do that without even blinking an eye? That's what we want to give you.
Yeah. It's here for you guys.
And we have all this foundational work to give you guys, right? Because we're living it, breathing it, sharing it, and want to put that piece of us into you.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Gordon, I just realized I have a bad habit of doing this, gentlemen. I tend to get ahead of myself. So
that's all right.
And so I think these next few slides have been essential. I've addressed a majority of it when in the previous one. Skip it.
You're fine.
So we can go to the next one, right? So we're talking about self-worth, right? And I want to, this pillar dismantles the lie that you must perform to matter. Before a man leads, he must belong to himself, right? That
That's
you
deep.
have to earn love. You have to earn acceptance. You have to earn understanding. You don't have to. All right? We're going to teach you how you can love yourself, how you can start setting those boundaries and making sure that you know your self-worth out the gate, right? You don't have to sit there and perform or have your masculinity challenged, because sometimes that's what happens, Gordon. Like a man's masculinity gets challenged. It's like, oh, you're not a real man because you don't do this. You know, and then we try to then perform. Like we're like puppets on a string. We start, dancing and, okay, well, I guess I'm going to do that. We should be able to say, you know what? I remember I was working with a client one time and, we were talking about he's dating and everything. And, the conversation, I guess the conversation wasn't going well or things like that. And so I told him, like, you don't have to stay. You could say, you know what? Hey, this isn't really working out. I'm good. Like, have a nice night. I'm going to see you later. Like, you don't have to stay. Once you know your self-worth and your value, once you know who you are and know your value, you're not held hostage by anybody else. They can't dangle anything over your head. I remember Dr. Eric Thomas said in a video, you can't make me want what I don't want. So they're trying to dangle this like, oh, if you perform, then you'll get this. Like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that, right? Or you're throwing your body at me. Yeah, nah, I'm good. Listen, I can control myself. I don't need that. I know my worth, my value. I'm not going to be sold for sex. I'm not going to be sold for that.
You're right. We are men here.
I'm not going to be that. So having self-worth, right? When you're told that you're going to be rejected or things like that, you'll be like, okay, cool, not a problem. When you start doing that, listen, you're going to start seeing the look on people's faces. What do you mean not a problem? That's supposed to work. You're supposed to crumble when I say that. You're not going to get this opportunity if you don't. Okay, cool, not a problem. I'm good on that. If not through you, through somebody else. People like Gordon, you were talking about people command and respect. Simply knowing your self-worth, I cannot stress enough how powerful that is to help command respect. How that draws people to you, because it's like, I want that. Whatever you're on, I want that. So we're going to be talking about that. And so, again, as just saying right here, we're going to be rewriting your narrative. We're going to be decoupling your identity from what you do. You're no more performative masculinity. We're not doing that anymore. And it's like it says here, a man's worth is secure. He becomes unstoppable. He becomes unstoppable because he's not looking for anyone to fill him. So if the woman is trying to do it, she can go. No games, no gaslighting. Hey, if you can't communicate, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
She comes back begging. Nah, I'm good on that. When people try to dangle opportunities, well, you'll never find another opportunity better than this. And if you don't have us, you're nothing. Nah, I'm good on that. I don't rock with you like that. And then on top of that, here's another thing as well. When you know your self-worth, you don't compromise on your values.
No.
Ever. Never have to buckle ever again. You'll never have to bend the knee and shame on yourself, because you know that's not what you stand for. You'll never have to do that again. So you can kiss shame goodbye. You can stand up for what you believe in, stand up for your morals, stand up for your values at all times as we get this pillar in place for you.
Because a lot of the times, the quote says, discomfort is the doorway to dignity and your growth. We want to provide you We're going to guide you through every step of the process. Our curriculum, our program, our workshop is designed to provide clarity, direction at each stage. No matter if you're a beginner, somebody that's seasoned, the complex concepts will be made simple and digestible so you can implement right away. You're going to be able to access insights, and it's guaranteed from Dr. Keith Fairclough. He's a real therapist, guys. This is why I call him Doc. He's earned that right? Some of our experienced coaches, including myself, gives you insight on how to apply these things with each module and builds a lasting confidence that you can take away forever. Even if you don't continue, then, we're going to assure it a comprehensive understanding, because 9 out of 10 times, you're just one thing away, one introduction, one prompt, one breakthrough, and you have the information needed to succeed at your fingertips with what we have going on through all the courses, where you can access some membership. You can access the courses. It's almost like something you see on TV, masterclass. But this way, it's just for you, tailored, catered, even specific. Does that make sense, Doc? Because that's what we want to do for you guys. We see so many people that, now, like the discomfort is the doorway to dignity, that you indignify yourself by not taking this action for yourself. You mean rent's got to be paid every day to the Lord up above, right? What are you doing to yourself to make your community better? We want to give you the tools, the direction, the encouragement, the brotherhood, Doc's framework, the SEER framework, the situation, emotion, reason, and requests in a process that can make you better in every which way possible. What is that worth to you? Confident.
We'll touch on this one, and then we'll go to the last one. So we're almost done, guys. Your life is worth it. Your marriage is worth it. Your business is worth it, right? We doom scroll online all day, right? And it doesn't give us any value. This is going to change your life forever. All right. So pillar 4, right? Just really touch on it again. I already talked about it a lot before, but confidence is not a feeling. It's the cumulative evidence that you keep promises to yourself, right? So we're going to be redefining confidence in this program, right? So that you understand exactly what it is. It's not a feeling. It's not like I feel that. No, it's a confidence is an action. It's a verb. It's something that you do, right? It's, I'm confident. Why? Because I know what I've accomplished. I know what I've overcome. I know what I've achieved. And listen, I know you've achieved a lot in your life, but unfortunately what happens, you downplay your achievements. You think they're not a big deal. You think if you could do it, anybody could do it. It's not the case. Right? We cannot, we're going to teach you to make sure you do not downplay your own achievements and downplay who you are as a man, as a king, as a sovereign man. We're going to teach you how to do it, not with arrogance, but with humility and strength. Because we talked about that in a video before, the difference between arrogance and confidence and what that looks like, right? Because arrogance is just, it's not real. There's no substance behind it. Confidence, there's substance behind it. I don't have to be arrogant to be confident. And I can be humble because, listen, my achievements show what I've done. You don't have to look at me. I don't have to prove anything to you. I am who I say I am. I do what I say I do. If you trust yourself and not second guessing yourself anymore, so you can make sure that you're not losing out on opportunities. You know how many times I've heard men say, oh man, I should have taken that chance. I should have invested in that thing. I shouldn't have sold that property. I should have, went to this. They say that all the time, all these regrets. We're going to teach you how to live a life where there are no more regrets. You take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way because you know how to do it. Because you believe in yourself. You know how to tap into your resources. We're going to teach you how to do all of that to make sure that you don't miss out on opportunities anymore in any area of your life. Right?
Because a lot of the times confidence is the driver for motivation and self-doubt is the killer of it. If you work with us, you'll never feel alone in this journey. In fact, my past history, you could have been a more screw up more than me. But this is how I know whatever you say you are in life and with phase and everything, you're going to have access to me, Doc, in a group setting for an ongoing thing, right? For ongoing motivation, because sometimes you might get stuck. Oh, Gordon, I've been this. Don't worry, I got you, right? You can also have one-on-one consultations in the group setting and personalize your experience on a separate level with Doc. You know what I mean? This is what we're going to do because you might be in different phases. We might set up a Telegram group. We might set up a WhatsApp group. We might set up a paid group, a membership group, a school community, a Reddit group. I have these all in place so that you never feel alone,
That's
right? Because like the quote is, your body does not believe in your goals. Your body believes in only your patterns. We want to change that pattern that you have going on with your life right now.
yes.
Until I figured out how to shift my thinking and my patterns and my behaviors, I would still be in that loop and that hamster wheel again.
Yes.
Because you don't grow unless you change your patterns and your behaviors. By doing that, you have to change your beliefs.
That's
also.
correct.
Next slide. Oh, no.
Yes, it is. All right. And of course, on my side, my stuff stopped. I don't know what happened, right?
The journey from a reflective life to a sovereign life.
Yes.
There's a bridge going on from the diagnosis before because,
So,
the identity, the performance-based, the conditional to inherent and unshakable.
yes, yes. So, guys, we're at the end now, all right? We're in the end game now, as Dr. Strange said in Infinity War, right? We're in the end game now, right? So, guys, I want you to think about your life as it is now, right? And look at this list on the side of the bridge, right? Because this is where a lot of us live. We don't want to live here, right? We don't want to be performance-based, right? We as men, as much as people always talk about, oh, well, men just want respect. The women want love. Men want respect. Again, another lie. It's a lie.
Right.
It's just a lie. No, we as men want to be loved. We want to be loved. We want to
Absolutely.
be accepted. We want to be understood. That is what we want, right?
Deep.
Of us are on this side. We're seeking conditional love, right? The people pleasing, trying to be a nice guy, or using women, or whatever the case may be. We're on that side, performance based, right? We're more reactive than anything else. Why? Because we hold our emotions in, struggling, our boundaries. We don't have them because we believe we're not supposed to have them. We believe we're supposed to be a workhorse being used at all times by anybody at any point in time. And you're tired and you feel like nobody cares. But instead of being able to open up, we suppress our emotions because we've been taught, oh, a man's not supposed to feel. A man's not supposed to be down. A man's not supposed to be depressed. He's supposed to be rock hard and solid all the time. That's not the case. And again, I was watching this video of this woman that said, yeah, if she was with a guy and he opened up and shared his emotions or he started crying in front of her, she said she wouldn't want to be with him. She would look down on him. I'm like, that's a level of toxicity that's out there in the world where a man can't even express his thoughts and feelings to someone who's supposed to be close to him without being ridiculed as a result. We're here to break all that. You're not going to be drained anymore in your relationships. You're not going to be secure.
Ooh,
We're going to move you from this side of the bridge, right? Because after you're done working with us, this is going to be the result. Strength, power, authority, boundaries, a stable mind, stable emotions, knowing how to work with your emotions, learning how to communicate, having strong and high confidence at all times, accomplishments, a better relationship with your wife and your kids and your family. No more exhaustion, emotional exhaustion. No more feel like you're alone. That's what's on this side, right? This is the sovereign life. This is what you can have every single day. Every single day you can live the sovereign life by working with us. We can get you there. You don't have to stay on this side of the bridge. This side of the bridge is destructive and damaging. Start making that trip over. Gordon,
if any of this relates to you in where your current situation right now, the fear of the unknown, you want to conquer the emotions that hold you back. You want to do things that you want to create and your desire. What we're going to be offering you is nothing right now. All I want you guys to do, you're going to have the first resource we're going to give you right now. You're going to have a first comprehensive assessment. Find out boundariesandbrotherhood.com. Take that assessment. Either me or Doc will reach out to you and see where you're at. If this is even something that you want to pursue. But I'm saying you're back to that slide, right? We've seen people with this much reinvestment on themselves. Close to 1,000% investment on themselves emotionally, confidently, and everything else so that they can have the boundaries, right? You don't need to have prior technical skills. You don't need to have been in therapy before. We want you to have your own platform, your own 2 feet, all learning in one place. For us, so free. You have access to exclusive tools, PDFs, mini workshops, all these things. And guess what? We're not even going to put a price on it because If you guys go in the assessment and be on the subject list right now, the waiting list, guess who gets access to all the stuff before anybody else gets it? You do, right? Because me and Doc want to provide the best situation encouragement for you guys to win in life, right? We don't want you to undo yourself. We want you to be proud of who you become and not listen to all this other stuff that's going on out there. He's a wreck. Because the persona that's on the line is not true.
Mm.
I started laughing 100%. He's like, their world is crumbling right now, and they're actually renting their house to help them pay their bills versus what they're portraying online.
Mm.
That's how wild it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
So that's what I want to leave with you guys, because what you see online is their ecosystem. Everybody keeps getting bombarded with all that crap.
Yes.
It worked.
Yes.
Now we're going to break the stigma. Doc, any closing remarks?
My closing remarks are this, gentlemen, as someone who was on the other side of that bridge, right? I'm not speaking from some ivory tower where, I'm better than you. It's not it. I don't operate like that, right?
Right.
I was working with a coach from Tony Robbins, and one of the things that we were talking about was, as far as me, is like, hey, what do you bring to the table? I'm like, well, what special thing that I bring to the table, right? And one of the things that she said was authenticity. She said, you're real. And that's what people need, right? Is
Yeah.
to say, I'm not in the ivory tower. I'm in the trenches with you every day,
Mhm.
doing these things every day, practicing what I preach every day. Sometimes I'll fall short, but guess what? I get back up because why? I have the strategies and techniques in order to keep moving forward, to have a successful business, to add value to people's lives, to do these things. And so I'm here to tell you right now, guys, it's possible. You don't have to be stuck. I understand what the world says. I understand when they try to put these labels on you. I understand you might be caught in an echo chamber and it might sound good because someone's speaking to your emotions, and you have people getting you all riled up with your emotions, and then you start to follow them, and then you don't even actually stop hey, is this accurate? Is this real? Right. No, this here is real. Yes. Will
This
we
is
get
real.
you riled up? Do I get riled up? You probably get riled up. Absolutely. 100%.
Part of
Yeah.
it.
It's going to happen, right? But that's my passion. That's why I'm just passionate about helping men and making sure that they don't have to be stuck as I was stuck for so many years. So
Yeah.
I get it. I get it on every level. I get it from being a parent. I get it from being a husband. I get it from being in the community. I get it from being a business owner. I get it. I understand, right? But I'm telling you right now, there is a way forward, and we are here to help you move forward. And especially, like, again, when the emotion wears out, we're still here. It's not over. And so I will, again, take that assessment, see where you stand, right?
Yes.
Waiting list, right? In
Yep.
2026, we're going to be rolling out. And if you're watching 2026 and it's already rolled out, well, listen, just jump on board. Listen, jump on. We want to make sure that you in your life is as good as can possibly be. We want to make sure that you truly are sovereign in your own life and you recognize that you actually have that ability to do so.
All right. Because guys, like the slide said, this is more than just a program. It's a contract with yourself, with us, to better your life going into 2026 and beyond. The workbook, the programs, everything else, it's not just a notebook. It's a contract to mirror yourself, to see yourself honestly for who you can become. You're going to become a weapon to dismantle lives that's online, that you're being told from the past, from your grandfather's dad, and all the stigma that you have, the labeling like Doc said. You're going to become the map, the beacon for other men, and they're going to be wondering, where did it all come from? It's a contract with you to the man that you're going to become moving forward with us. That's where you're not alone. You're going to become the author of what's going to come next. For too long, you have lived and a story written by fear, like Doc said, pain, neglect, whatever excuse you want to. It's time to break out of the victim mentality, and a story that you're going to create for you to survive, to thrive, because you're no longer that boy. You're going to be able to rewrite the beliefs, rewrite your meanings, rewrite your future. The world changes when you commit to living your story on purpose, and that's what me and Doc is going to provide. We're just the conductors of peaceful on the bridge to get you from one place to another. Guys, this is Gordon Watt from Boundaries and Brotherhood. Take the assessment right here.
Dr. Keith Fairclough.
Let's go. Oh, it's not let's go.
All right, and this is Dr. Keith Fairclough. Guys, make the right choice for your life. You don't have to live like this anymore, right? We're in a new
Beautiful.
year. Let's get you where you want to be, where you deserve to be. Sovereign, full control over your own life.
11th
The
man.
11th man.
Thank you for
Guys,
joining
take
us.
care.